Hello YouTube, this is the Packing Pastor 1-1, and this here is a Taurus PT111G2, or also called a Millennium G2. I got the stainless slide version. Cost about 40 bucks more, but that's okay. I've already done some grip texturizing. And what I want to do now is do a little Cerakote job on the lower portion. I'm going to try to do something a little like this. I don't know if you can see that or not. Kind of a geometric camo pattern, except I'm going to do it very subtly with black and close to black, really dark gray, etc, etc. And so hopefully it will turn out really good. So what I need to do is strip the complete lower part of this gun and prepare it for Cerakote. So magazine, it's clear. Take the slide off. Now if you notice with the slide here, the barrel's a different finish than the rest of the slide, so I'm going to go ahead and paint that black while I'm at it with the Cerakote. So I already have my decals cut out. One of those ready to go. Now what I have here is a small bag that I use for all the small parts so I don't lose them. As you can see, this is from the bodyguard I did earlier. This is loaded. But what I did is Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380. I did a flower pattern grip enhancement for my wife. This is Jesse James Civil Defense Blue. So if you go onto Cerakote's website, you'll see that. And then I took the slide, I took the sights off, I completely disassembled the slide, and buffed, sandblasted. I sandblasted, I dipped it in acid, I sandblasted again. That took a long time to get all that finish off, then I buffed it up in a buffing wheel. So my wife really likes that. It's her Christmas present this year. I also did the bottom parts of the magazines, so that's hers. That's what I'm going to be using for the next couple days while I'm trying to get this Taurus done. Alright, what I have here is a little block that comes with a Beretta. If you can see the Beretta in there, the little Beretta icon. It was left over at our gun shop, so I'm using it, and it works pretty well. Alright, so first thing we need to do is take this disassembly lever out. It's bigger on the left side than it is the right side. You have to drift it from the right to the left, and it's held in by spring power. Now you gotta be careful. I already did it several times. There's a spring in there and then a little pad that sits on top of the spring that applies the pressure. And so when you pull that out of there, you got to be careful that you don't let those things fly across the room and lose them. So the easiest way I found to take this out is from one side you push down on that spring, and you're going to have to push them down a little bit because there's a lip from both sides, but it should fall out pretty easily on the other side once you get that done. Just like that. And I'm going to let out very slowly. You'll see there's a little pad right in there. Right here. And there goes a little pad. And then the spring. So don't want to lose those at all. So as I take those pieces out, I'm going to go ahead and put them in my bag. Next thing that gives me a lot of problems is this large pin up here. for some reason that's the tightest fit. And it seems like the polymer is a little tight here, so it clamps down on this trigger assembly pretty good, so you just got to be aware of that. So I get it started with a big punch. I am not using a hammer like I should, but get it started, and move to the smaller punch that actually fits. That goes in the bag. And you're all done there. And then you just need the next two smaller punches. Each pin is different size, so you have the large pin here, the small pin here, and the medium pin in the back. So let's go ahead and take out that small pin. Now I'm drifting from the right to the left on all of these just because it seems to be easier for me to do it that way. I don't think there's a real need for it, but and that came out pretty easily. Now with that pin, if you can see here, there's some checkering on it, and that checkering correlates to the safety. I believe that's the only thing on that side that would need some sort of friction to hold it in. But once we get apart, I'll verify that. And then on to our last pin, which is in the back. I start pounding it off to the side, get it going, then I move to over top of the block so I don't lose my pin. Just like that. And that pin is pretty self-explanatory, standard, whatever you want to call it. Alright. This is where you need to be really careful. Behind the safety, there is a very small pin and a very small ball bearing. If you lose those, you're out of luck. Alright. If you want to notice, this little bar is going to come off right here. That's just attached to a little pin, and I'll show you how to put that on when we put it all back together. But using a punch, go ahead and lift up, apply pressure to that safety that way so you keep that spring and ball bearing in there. Otherwise you're gonna have a not fun day trying to find it, like I did the other day, or actually earlier today. That was not fun. And that should come out pretty easily. Alright, so there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of this sway bar or whatever it's called. Alright, take this little lever off. You see how that kind of, maybe not. This little lever goes in like that. It does not go in like so. Otherwise you're not going to be able to get the gun to work. Goes in. So it's pointing forward, if that makes sense. I'll take that off, put that in my little small parts bag. Now, alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull this safety away very slowly. And I don't know if you can see it. You can see the shiny part right there. That's a ball bearing. You don't want to lose that. So what I'm going to do, oh, there it goes. It comes out just like that. And there should be a spring in there too. I'm not going to try to get that out, so I'm just going to leave the spring in there. I'm going to put the ball bearing, and the rest of this assembly, it should stay together like that pretty easily. I'm going to put the ball bearing in here. Now if you notice this little L shape on the bar, like that, the bottom part of that L shape goes underneath. I don't know if you can see it. Goes underneath that part right there, the safety. So it kind of snugs under there. Kind of looking at backwards from the other one, but it will snug under there so that when you push the safety up, that bar will be not able to be used, and your safety will work. That's how that works. So that's going in there. Now we're going to get the trigger assembly out. That's a little tight, so I may have to pull it pretty well. Now this seems to be held in by another pin, and so I don't want to take that out at all. I want to leave it the way it is. Less parts that are loose, the better. Alright, I got the mag release out. So you'll notice it'll sit in there like this. Let's get this focused. Alright. It'll sit in there like this, facing forward, and the spring is going to be underneath like this. And so as you push it, the spring will want to push it back. Push it, want to push it back. And so what you have to do is you have to depress the spring long enough. The dog's going to start barking soon. If you depress the spring long enough, you'll be able to push it past the spring and out, and then it'll come out. Alright, so after you get the release button out, all you have left to do is to get that spring out, and you just have to take a needle nose plier down there and it'll pull right out. Probably don't want to subject that kind of metal to heat as what we do with Cerakote. It's not good to put spring metal into heat, so I'm going to take that out, and then we're all set. And once I get it done, I'll do a video of how to put it all back together. For now, the lower is completely stripped and ready for Cerakote. See you later.